You know, high conflict family law cases, they can often feel like you're just drowning in chaos. But what if there was a system, a real blueprint designed to bring some order to all that madness? Well, today we're going to look at exactly that, a way to turn that legal conflict into structured, manageable pathways. So let's dive in.
And this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of the matter. It's not about winning a fight. It's about rebuilding stability. The whole idea we're exploring today is that structure is the absolute key to stopping that endless cycle of conflict that just drains everyone's resources. And that's the big question, isn't it? Because for so many families, that's the reality. When there's no clear system, legal battles just spiral out of control, and the damage is immense. Not just financially, but emotionally, especially for the kids who are caught right in the middle of it all. So let's take a closer look at the problem this system is trying to solve. So, Section 1, Drowning in Chaos. This is all about understanding the true cost of that chaos. It's about recognizing the very real human needs that just get lost in the shuffle when a case doesn't have a clear plan or a shared strategy. So what do these families actually need? Well, first off, they need a strategy to stop things from getting worse, one that truly protects the kids. They need clear expectations, like what do I actually document? And just as important, what do I ignore? They need their legal team to advocate for them based on facts, not just emotional narratives. And maybe the biggest thing of all, they need a plan that doesn't just put a temporary fix on the problem, but actually prevents the same issues from cropping up again and again. Okay, so how do we provide that stability? This brings us to the core concept of the system we're looking at, what's called a closed-loop approach. Think of it as a way to take a totally chaotic event and funnel it through a predictable, repeatable process. All right, let's break this definition down because it's got a few key terms. First, you have a trigger. That's any event that creates a legal need, a dispute, a safety issue, you name it. That trigger then kicks off a work stream, which is just a fancy way of saying a structured process for handling it. And that process creates an artifact, a clean, documented piece of information. The whole point is to get everyone on the same page, working from the same playbook to get better results. And this is a perfect illustration of that flow. See, it starts with the chaos of a trigger. That gets channeled into a structured work stream. That work stream then produces a clean artifact, like a clear timeline. That artifact is then used in a coordinated handoff between professionals, say from a paralegal to an attorney. And the end results? Hopefully, better compliance with court orders and, most importantly, safer families. Now, for a system like this to actually work, especially when you have so many different professionals involved, attorneys, therapists, mediators, everyone has to be speaking the same language. And this is where 5 key words become absolutely crucial. They create that shared vocabulary for coordination. First up, we have role. It's simple, really. Who is doing what? Is it the attorney, the paralegal, a client advocate? Defining these roles clearly right from the start prevents tasks from getting duplicated or, worse, completely dropped. Second, we've got the trigger. Now, this is the specific event that kicks off a process. We're not talking about a vague feeling here. It's a concrete action, like a denied custody exchange or a threatening text. You have to identify the specific trigger to address it effectively. So, once you have that trigger, you need a work stream. This is the predefined path for handling that type of event. It's like a playbook. If this happens, then we do these steps in this specific order. It brings predictability to a situation that feels anything but. The end product of a work stream is the artifact. This is the tangible proof, the clean chronology, the indexed exhibits. And here's the key. It's not just a messy folder of random screenshots. It's a professionally prepared document ready to be used in court. And finally, number 5 is the handoff. This is where the coordination really shines. It's the clear, verified transfer of an artifact or a task from one role to another. Who's doing what, by when, and how do we confirm it's actually done? No more assumptions, no more things falling through the cracks. Okay, so that's the theory, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's move on and see how this structured approach can transform the messy reality of a legal case into something clear, actionable, and effective. This slide shows the transformation perfectly. On the left, you've got the chaos. I have 500 screenshots, vague court orders with reasonable language, and long emotional narratives. But on the right, you see what the system creates: clarity. That pile of screenshots becomes a clean chronology with citations. Vague language becomes measurable protocols. It's a complete game changer. Let's walk through a super common example.
The trigger is that classic line from a client, "I have 500 screenshots." Instead of getting overwhelmed, the legal team initiates the evidence hygiene workstream. The output, the artifact, is a clean chronology and a summary of behavioral patterns. And the final outcome? Well, the client has much stronger credibility in court, and the hearings themselves become way faster and more focused.
You know, the benefits of a system like this don't just stop with the legal team or the client. This kind of structured approach creates a positive ripple effect that touches the family, the entire legal system, and even the community at large. Let's see how. For the family right at the center of it all, the impact is just profound. Clearer court orders bring more stability. Measurable protocols mean safer transitions for the children. There's simply less chaos day to day, which frees up so much mental and emotional energy to actually focus on healing, not on fighting.
The legal system itself benefits too. I mean, when judges get clear, credible facts, they can make faster, fairer decisions. The workload for legal teams goes down because they're not constantly putting out fires. This leads to fewer repeat filings, and over time, it can actually help rebuild trust in the legal system's ability to help.
And those ripples just keep spreading. When a family is in constant crisis, it spills over into schools, into workplaces. A structured approach reduces these crises, which means less strain on public resources. It can even improve access to justice, because these structured tools can be a lifeline for families representing themselves. The bottom line, you get stronger, more stable communities for everyone. This really brings us full circle, doesn't it? It all comes back to this fundamental idea. By focusing on structure and always keeping the child's well-being at the very center of the process, the entire goal shifts from just winning a battle to actually helping a family heal and find a new way forward. So, what's the big takeaway here? This system is an incredibly powerful tool for family law, for sure, but the principle behind it is universal. And that leaves us with a really compelling question to think about. If this kind of shared structure can bring order to our most intense personal conflicts, where else in our world do we need to apply that exact same logic?